So they'll be calling you a radical. I interrupt this scheduled Black and Yellow Friday protest. I'm headed to the nuclear site. So this is, there's lots of breaking news. So I got a phone call yesterday from a 16-year-old girl. One of the most heartbreaking phone calls I've ever had. This right up there with Danielle Valentine's dad and mom called me when she died on the Reagan. She says, I wanted to call you. I've been following my dad, followed you for a long time. He was on the Reagan. She said he died last night. I says, how old was he? She just turned 37. I says, he died of AML leukemia, didn't he? Yeah. She says, he's been fighting it for 3 years. And she started to cry. And I started to cry. I get this call a lot. You think my YouTube, and I love how they squash me and do whatever. I told her, I've been there. This wound will never go away, I told her. Use it. Use his life for your fuel. I said, did you sit with him when he died? Yeah. I held his hand. He said, he used to love you. He says, he watched your videos. You know how many that is? Just that I know of. I get this call all the time. So, U.S.S. Reagan. We'll talk about Beau Biden. I'm going to talk about the Polygon, how they murder their own troops, including my dad. They don't care. You're all caught up in the war machine. So first and foremost, I'm sure this is the Trump CIA. He's got rid of all the military. The so-called Robert Oppenheimer of our Tehran was assassinated yesterday. Is he the Robert? Please. Robert Oppenheimer was an anti-nuclear. This guy's no threat. This guy's no threat. Trump on his way out the door. You know he's been firing all his military, been saying, can I bomb Tehran? Which he might do. The guy's a fucking madman. He's a monster. So is that fucking president in Israel. You know, I'm friends with Mike Levin, not that Mike Levin. Mike Levin in District 49, San Onofre. I mean, he dives into this so good. You know, me and Peter was at his lecture at Del Mar. So let's talk about the troops being murdered by their own men. I was thinking a lot about my dad yesterday. Drafted Marine, marched into the freaking Nevada test site. Air Blast 1. Air Blast 1. Murdered him. He died later of AML, just a beast, and then I get it. I've talked to a lot of these people. My first PhD was, you know, clear back in the 90s, early 90s, was the children of the atomic veterans. This is long before I got cancer. So, I don't know if you guys know about, I guess apparently not, and this blows my mind because I was standing with Miss Benjamin, Medea, Code Pink, when they called this election. Her and I were standing together. I mean, I think the irony is incredible, you know, as I worked the peace vigil. I remember, I haven't seen her since clear back then. I mean, face to face, personally. Since clear back to, you know, we were both young then. We're not young anymore. So, do you know about the Polygon? So, let's talk about this. So, it's all over the media now. I've had a couple guys come to me, want me to help them out. I says, why should I help you out now? We screamed and yelled. That's the Russian test site. And they weren't just testing open-air bombs. They were doing dirty bombs. It's the most radioactive place on the face of the earth till Fukushima happened. We're freaking out when Bush stole the election and went to invade. And the war, you know, and Barry Antoinette, he fucked us more than anybody in history. Remember, he was a peace activist. Voted against wars, who killed more people than Bush. We're going crazy. They're going to stage the invasion to Afghanistan through K2, they call it. So, this guy called me here a while back and says, I says, well, you fuckers, we went crazy telling you guys. Bush said it fucking best. My dad was drafted. You guys weren't drafted. I says, he said it best. I didn't put a gun to anybody's head. This is a total volunteer army. Do you know the United States military knew full fucking well it was the most radioactive place on the face of the earth? So he told me that when we got there, all the fucking barrels, everything was still there. I says, well, what happened? The U.S. just pushed it into a big old pit and set it on fire. I says, well, there's 2 major cities. Yeah, they don't give a fuck. Just like fucking the Russians, the U.S., they don't give a fuck. We were screaming, including Miss Benjamin, Code Pink. She was going crazy. We were being interviewed, her and I. And this got international media because nobody's going to touch me. You know, she'll get on Democracy Now!, which I know, Amy, personally. My daughter, freaking, who dated Aaron Matei for years, you know, I'm very close with that group, but they're not going to touch me because I guess they're afraid. They don't talk about the real hardcore subject matter that Kevin Blanch does while in critical condition. I told her, you know, she says, yeah, we watched your fight. You inspired my dad a lot. I says, only good die young. You do know that. I tried to comfort her. How do you? So these guys, this is the Navy sailors. They never know. Barack Obama sent them in, John Holden. I have the transcript inside the situation. I know word for word what happened. Make it so. The Admiral, I've talked to him. He wanted the whole island of Japan evacuated, all the men. Ask Rachel Godoya. You know, ask Kathy Iwana. You know, both friends of mine who were in Japan, says the only information was getting from Kevin Blanch. So back to K2. Clear up into 1968, the Russians were releasing dirty bombs. I mean, those are biological fucking weapons of mass destruction. Kind of like what Fukushima is. Build a reactor on the Ring of Fire. Make it so was said inside the Situation Room. Go radiate your own men. This coat is one of the highest ranking officers on the U.S.S. Reagan. The, I think, highest ranking female, well, according to her daughter. She gave me that. Yeah, she died too. She was 38. So they sent him into the Polygon. Full well was the most radioactive place on Earth. The Russians staged, when they invaded Afghanistan, remember we boycotted the Olympics, the exact same place, but then the Russians, people freaked out. The activists inside Russia, who, by the way, are all hiding in Vienna and Paris because Putin's killing them now. The oncologist from K2, she's famous. Look her up. She's all over. Her and her 5 kids finally had to flee. She's one of the most famous activists in the world. Going psycho about this. I'm going psycho about this. When I'm like, you cannot stage U.S. fucking Marines if you're going to kill them. They'll die. So the death rate is off the hook with these guys. And they act like they don't know to this day. I'm like, can you not just do Google around? Well, you know, Kevin Blanch, again, I'll do all the fucking dirty work. I'm okay with it. You know, you can lean on my shoulder. Anybody that needs a friend or has a broken heart of a loved one, you have me. I'll always be there for you. I mean, I'll post this video that I was walking in La Jolla, and this guy, really well-dressed, fantastic guy, Jehovah's Witness in La Jolla last year. Kevin Blanch, that's you over there. Come here, I want to talk to you. Yeah? I want to tell you about my neighbor. Yeah? He was on the U.S.S. Reagan. Well-spoken, beautiful guy. And I says, don't tell me. Yeah. 3 years after he got home, he got AML leukemia. Young guy. Killed him dead. He knew what it was. So they staged the Marines at the Polygon, K2. Just burned the shit. And these guys were all gung-ho. I'm going to fucking wrapped up in the flag. I says, you spit on us, peace activists. I was in D.C. fucking going crazy. You spit on us. You know, with Thomas, with everybody at the peace. We're going crazy. You spit on us. Bunch of fucking peace act. Fuck you. Okay. I'm not going to do you like you did me. They're all dying. All of them are dying. He says, I got lumps on my fucking thyroid. Well, You come home and made kids. Everyone made kids. Lucky this young woman was born before her dad got radiated. I says, you're lucky. I says, you have any other children? No, he knew better. He knew because of you, Kevin. He said he wouldn't have any more children, with the second wife, because these guys all end up divorced. Fighting cancer. I got no benefits. My mom and dad got no benefits. My mom was widowed for a long, long time. Got no benefits. Zero, because it was all top secret. What is a check going to do? And by the way, first I need to say this. Thank you everybody who supported this historic work. Without, some donations, and it's lean, baby. I'm running on empty. I don't know how I do it. I really don't. It's really a hardcore, lonely, lonely, lonely fight. Really a hardcore, lonely fight. Bush, Cheney, Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction. No, he didn't. All lies. They knew that this was the most radioactive place on Earth. They staged the freaking troops, the draft dodging clan. Dan Rather gets fired from CBS News for calling George W. Bush a draft dodger. By the way, they're all draft dodgers. They're all draft dodgers. Well, how come Biden didn't go? He's of age. They're all draft dodgers. Let's talk about Beau Biden. This is important because Donald Trump wouldn't say it. I asked him. He went 4 years without. Now, did Trump kill this scientist? Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. And, Obama did more than, you remember the Marine? Remember the Marine? Cartwright? Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so, little Joe. How old was little Joe? He lived in Rocketdyne, filmed movies in southern Utah. Say it ain't so, Joe. They knew. They did it anyway. They didn't care. They knew. Beau Biden. In Iraq. Do you know they carpet bombed all of Fallujah with white phosphorus? That's depleted uranium. That's what these reactors are for the byproduct for nuclear weapons and testing. There's a lot of money in nuclear waste. Beau Biden was young. He was the good son. He was the good son. Good son, bad son. Well, why won't he say a fucking word? Well, Barack Obama didn't say a word, and his mother was a downwinder. Died how young of cancer? Downwinder in Kansas. Southern Utah. Same thing that got freaking all the film actors in Hollywood. It's the most radioactive place in the fucking world, Southern Utah. Oh, I know. I live here. I'm in the bone marrow transplant center at LDS. One of the patients that was in there with me, right next to me, in 2012, was on the U.S.S. Reagan. That hat that I used to wear around with the one patch, that's my other one. I had another one that got stole. He gave it to me. He died in the room next to me in 2012 when I was fighting for my life. They sent them in to K2 in Russia and staged them all there. Burn all the fucking with the most not only did they open air tests, Oppenheimer, fuck. Iran, it's never ending, my work. I'm headed out to the secret dump site right now. I was, but I saw this come across, this phone call I got from her yesterday. I couldn't sleep most of the night last night, thinking about all my activism, this heartbreaking, lonely journey. Had a lot of money, had all that Tesla stock, had all that Apple stock, had to get rid of it to get into the bone marrow. I was uninsured. This hardcore, nightmarish journey that I've been on for going on a decade. Well, I've been fighting these guys my whole life since I watched them load my dad in the body bag. I met Annika in the Nevada test site protesting. She died of this disease. This young girl was freaking so distraught yesterday. I was worried about your dad. You sat with him, didn't you? A lot of people won't sit with him as they die. They're too weak. Yeah, my mom wouldn't. I said, your mom abandoned him, didn't she? Yeah, 2 years ago left him. I says, that's what they do when you get diagnosed with cancer. Just like everybody else does. You sat with him, yeah. Me and my sister sat with him. Hold his hand when he's dying? Yeah. Did he have a tough time going? Yeah. I've been there a lot. Whoa. You keep his soul alive. He said, I tried to condole these nuclear monsters when one of them died. I think it was for me. I talked to his wife, told him he's not dead. He just took the next place. For the angels. They've attacked me. They went after all of us. I've watched so much death. I've watched more death by leukemia in the last decade than any person should in 50 lifetimes. Has it changed me and rattled me? If you only know the phone calls I get over the years. I used to be the guy at the VA, sit with these guys when they come home. They route them through San Onofre. My dad was a Marine there. Shut down. To the vets hospital here when they're full of cancer. Beau Biden got brain cancer. Died young from white phosphorus sprayed all those guys in Iraq. Fallujah, including all the Iraqis. Birth defects, murder, mayhem for time and all eternity. They stage these guys. I like how they fucking call it the United States military calls it the polygon. They knew. They're all dying, and their kids are going to get cancer because they come home made kids. And were they warned? Yeah. By the peace activist community. But again, the media squashing my view count, holding back all my things, classifying me. I told her, I says, this should have been called an attention. She says, my dad had a good oncologist. I says, yeah. How do you survive this disease? I'm a 1%er, but that's because the work's not done. The gods, the powers there be, left me here. This time and place was chiseled in stone before I was born. This is my place and my work. I was going in and out of a coma 9 years ago right now. Making promises, not to God. To myself. So there's no doubt the CIA's done it again in Iran, which is outrageous. Fuck. Obama did it. He put fucking bombs underneath cars and blew up whole cars. Ask Cartwright. Cartwright was inside the Situation Room. Cartwright's the guy who blew the whistle. What was that? Sputnik or whatever? Got convicted of it. Going to go to prison. Trump pardoned him. Why will not Trump pardon Julian Assange? Julian Assange is who put Trump in the White House. And look what Trump did to him. I remember warning those guys. What are you supporting Trump for? They're the ones that attacked Hillary. They're exactly who put Trump in the White House. But that's what Trump does. Trump just uses. It's supposedly, he calls them his useful idiots. Stalin come up with that term. That's Trump's term. Now, he pardoned Flynn. Who will he pardon? Himself. He'll try, but unfucking real. He's the Oppenheimer of Iran. Fuck, what a bunch of... This is a big story. These are both big stories. I'll do my work. The U.S.S. Reagan trial. I'm there the whole time, guns in my face. Really the only activist that supported it. How has that trial never gone forward? So my dad. Everybody's lost loved ones. Everybody that's fighting this and fucking thing. Hang in there. Use the fuel. Use the death of your freaking loved one to fight back the people that did it. I remember when they loaded my dad in the body bag, that scumbag brother of mine, he's a crook and thief, said, you're really going to watch him? Load him in the body bag. Yep. Wanted to burn a hole in me. Oh, it did. Of course, it's spite that I was ever born to set this right. But I was. Trump freaking murdering Iran on the way out. Fuck this guy. They're no threat. They're no fucking threat. It's all bullshit. United States, what a bunch of mass murderers. Kill their own. Kill their own. My dad was Semper Fi to the death. What beautiful souls. What important people. No one gives a fuck. You got me. You've got me. Stay tuned.